This is Cora Knight bringing you another tale of mythology. This time we are bringing you a tale of two swords, an Arthurian tale from the UK. Let's begin, shall we? Times were dark in Britain during the years following the death of Uther Pendragon. His knights, becoming base and greedy, fought amongst themselves for the power to rule. Yet the throne remained empty. The land was broken and black, and many saw that something must be done soon, lest the land fall into ruin. One day, quite unexpectedly, Merlin, the good enchanter, appeared from the deep wood and made his way to London town, there to speak with one as wise as he, the Archbishop of Canterbury. Who's there? Only an old man like you, one who wants to see this dark land healed. Merlin the wizard. Last time you were here, the people almost burned you at the stake for your sorcery. Luckily, I convinced them not to. I would have liked to see them try. Archbishop, I've come here on a most important errand. Our land is in turmoil without a king. You must pray for heaven to give us a, what do you call them? Miracle? Yes, that's it. One of those would do most nicely. What should this miracle be? Oh, how should I know? Whatever it should bring a king. The land is dying. Very well, I shall pray. And God will bless us with a miracle. Well, pray it comes quickly. It's not even safe for old wizards to travel alone anymore. I must be off. Thank you for this news, but Merlin, please do not return here. I would hate to see you burned at the stake. Ah, don't worry. I'm not very fond of burning. Tickles. The old wizard left the churchman's chamber and slipped back into the night as easily as he had come. The archbishop prayed, and on Christmas Day, a miracle came. Many knights of England were gathered in London town for the Christmas as they packed the great cathedral. The archbishop was giving a joyous litany, but then stopped in mid-chant, his lips trembling. It has happened. The knights and gentlemen and women stared in shock as the archbishop ran from the church and into the courtyard, shouting, "Heaven be praised!" The people thronged after the archbishop, and they found him prostrate before a strange object in the churchyard, one that had not been there when they entered. It has happened. Heaven has sent us a miracle. They all gathered around closely and marveled at the shrine to which the archbishop bowed. A magnificent sword had been driven almost to the hilt into a coal-black anvil, which rested atop a large stone amid the courtyard. A sword in a stone. A sword in a stone driven there by the hand of God himself. The archbishop rose and moved closer. Upon the hilt he could discern letters of gold. Whoso pulleth out this sword from this stone and anvil is rightwise king, born of all England. The people gasped and marveled at this. We shall have a king again, and he shall be chosen by this miracle of God. Soon a great murmur ran through the crowd, and many good knights stepped forward to try their hand, but none succeeded. The sword would not be moved. Man after man approached the task, but all left defeated. It would not budge an inch. What can this mean? Heaven would not send this miracle for nothing. A king must be chosen. When all had tried and failed, the heart of the archbishop dropped. Hope is extinguished. But he then remembered that while many knights were present in London for the feast, not all had been summoned. There were many country plantations that harbored noblemen as well. He needed a way to bring them all there. Attention, attention. I decree that we must have a joust. Heaven has ordained it. All knights must attend, and whoever wins our tournament will be the bearer of the sword and king of all England. And so was the word sent out to every sword in the land. The word even reached the elderly Sir Ector, the guardian of Uther Pendragon's long-forgotten son. Under the care of the kindly Sir Ector, the baby Arthur had grown into a spry young lad of 16 years. When the boy had questioned his guardian as to who his parents were, Ector could only say, I don't know, my boy. An old man brought you from the woods. He told me to care for you, raise you as my own son, and I have. I can tell you no more. While Arthur had many questions about his past, he had accepted this and asked no more. In his youthful eagerness, he had grown up worshiping the ground that his older foster brother, Sir Kay, walked on. When the news came of the great joust in London town, Ector went at once to his sons. Kay, prepare to journey. We've been sent for to joust. Really? I mean, of course. I'm a knight now. I must do these things. Of course, my boy, of course. And the prize they joust for is the greatest prize. Crown. Father, do you think I could win it? Of course you could, Kay. You're the greatest fighter I've ever seen. Ah, what do you know? Arthur, you shall come as well. You will keep Kay's sword and shield. Really? Does he have to? Now, boys, at once prepare. We leave tomorrow. Arthur had never been anywhere except the humble province of Sir Ector. This chance to go to London was undreamt of. He couldn't sleep the night before their departure. It was snowing softly as the three rode into the crowded streets of the city on New Year's Day. I can hear the joust. I think that's Arthur's knees knocking together. It's true, I am a bit nervous. I've never been a squire before. Well, hopefully you won't be one for long. They deposited their things at an inn. Kay put on his armor and took his lance. Arthur made sure the horse was groomed and prepared for the tournament. When all was ready, they rode toward the joust. The roar of the crowd echoed through the streets. Kay, this is going to be great. I can't wait to see you charging on your horse, swinging your sword in my sword. I left my sword at the inn. I've got to go back to get it. Well, there's no time. Well, late enough. Your turn will be soon. Don't worry, I'll go back and get it. Oh, no, you don't. You should have reminded me in the first place. Well, he must, Kay. There's no time. Go, Arthur. Go quickly. I'll get your sword, Kay. I promise. Arthur rushed quickly back through the deserted streets, back to the inn. He ran to its door, but found it bolted. Everyone's at the tournament. At that moment, he remembered that when they passed by the churchyard, they'd seen a strange sight. There had been a great sword within, sticking halfway out of an anvil. That sword will have to do. He raced to the place where he had seen the sword, and dashing through the snow, he ran to the great stone. He never thought to doubt the fact that the sword would come loose once he pulled, and with the slightest of strength, the great weapon easily slid forth. Now, I must get back to Kay. Unaware of the miracle that had just occurred, Arthur jumped back onto his horse, sword in tow, and galloped back to the jousting field. Kay, I have a sword. Amazing. Maybe you're worth something. Give it to me. Wait a minute. This is not my sword. Where'd you get the sword, boy? From a stone in the courtyard. By Jove, this boy has pulled the sword from the stone. Arthur, him? What does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean? That's the whole point of this tournament. But you've pulled the sword from the stone. Arthur, a king. Yes, Kay, yes. King of all England. Soon their shouting attracted the attention of those around them, and before they knew it, a great crowd was gathered, all staring in wonder. They asked to examine the sword. It was the sword in the stone. It even had the golden letters beneath the hilt. But a boy? Silence, people, silence. The archbishop had pushed his way through the crowd. Who has pulled the sword out of the stone? Arthur? This boy. Boy, what is your name? Arthur, sir. I see. He can't be king. He's too young, an orphan. He can't be king. But he has pulled the sword out of the stone, young man. Anyone can pull it out once it's been pulled. Someone else removed it, and Arthur found it. He's lying. Silence, Kay. Then, in front of all, let us test him to the courtyard. A great crowd of people marched through the snowy streets, Arthur and the archbishop in the lead. To tell the truth, Arthur was a bit embarrassed by all this attention. Kay lagged sulkily behind. They reached the stone and the anvil, and the archbishop slid the sword back into its metallic grip. Now let us all look. If this boy pulls forth the sword, he is king. God has sent this miracle to show us our true ruler. Let none doubt, and everyone swear the loyalty, if this act is done. It was agreed. Arthur sheepishly walked toward the handle. It had seemed so easy before. Why, with everyone watching, was it so much harder now? Fear seized him. It had worked the first time. But what if it didn't work again? Go on, son. Arthur reached up and grasped the cold handle and slowly applied the pressure of his arm. The sword rose up from the stone just as it had before, only this time it sang. Light broke forth from the gray clouds, and a single ray fell upon the boy Arthur. Many swore they heard angels singing that day, and all present agreed that it was the greatest sight that their eyes were to ever see. Hail to Arthur, King of the Britons, sovereign of all England. Bow to your king, son Arthur. As all bowed, Kay scowled, but bent his knee as well. Zacta, is this boy your son? No, he is an orphan. He was brought to me on a cold winter night by Merlin, the good enchanter. I've raised him as my own son. He's the son of Uther Pendragon. An old man in a snow-covered traveling cloak stepped forward. Merlin. He was begat long ago and forgotten. I've seen to it that he returned this day to claim his birthright. The people stared at the boy in further amazement. Well, what are you waiting for? Praise, grovel. This is your king. All of this terribly embarrassed Arthur. He stood there, a scrawny teenager who was now the object of so much scrutiny. Grown men began to kneel at his feet. Arthur didn't know what to do. He saw his foster brother bowing, and he walked to him and put his hand on his shoulder. If I'm to be king, Kay, I want you there with me. You're my brother. I'll make you the overseer of all my lands. Kay looked up and smiled. Come, Archbishop, let's have a celebration. King has been chosen. You speak wise words. A feast, feast. Arthur felt his heart sink. What now? He turned to the old strange man who had stood forth from the crowd. Excuse me, sir. Merlin slowly turned. Oh, yes, you. I know you've said that God has picked me, but might you be wrong? I don't know anything about anything. I can't fight wars. I can't govern kingdoms. Well, Rome wasn't built in a day, lad. I shall teach you. Help you. Yes, that will perhaps not be so bad. Bad? Heavens, no, it'll be the best thing that ever happens to you. Merlin made good on his word. He helped the boy king set up his court at the castle of Camelot. The call went out to all the lesser kings and lords of Britain for them to come to Camelot and pledge their loyalty to the boy king. It was about that time that Lot, the king of Orkney, and Lothian began to grumble against Arthur's right to reign. Why should an illegitimate brat be our king? So what if he was Uther Pendragon's son? How could a boy lead men? I'm married to Uther's adopted daughter. I've more of a right to be king than he does. Sword in the Stone was just a cheap trick devised by that old warlock Merlin. I say we take Britain back. Who's with me? Lot found allies among the other kings of Britain, and together they began to muster their forces. News of Lot's amassing army reached Merlin. Arthur, we must prepare for a war. An army of hostile knights is heading toward Camelot, led by King Lot of Orkney. I don't understand. Orkney. It's a miserable chain of islands off northern coast of Britain. No, I mean, why is he leading an army against me? Oh, that's easy. He wants your head. More specifically, what rests upon it. He's perfectly willing to remove the former in order to receive the latter. I can't believe he'd kill me just to get my crown. Doesn't even know me. Don't you know anything about politics? Lot has convinced 10 other kings to rally to his cause. He says that you're too young, you have no experience. Plus, it's a known fact that teenagers have no common sense. All of his claims are true, of course. Hey, yet he's missing one key point. You're meant to be the king. He is not. You will just have to learn the hard way. That's right. I pulled the sword out of the stone. Doesn't that mean anything to these lords? The sword and the stone only proved your right to rule. Doesn't prove your ability. Besides, you could walk on water and it wouldn't change the way your foes feel about you. Lot and his allies have been your sworn enemies even before you were born. Two of the kings who oppose you are married to your half sisters who hate you with fiery passion. I have half sisters and they want me dead. Welcome to the Middle Ages. But as fun as this look at your family tree is, we have to prepare for war. I guess I was naive. I thought by becoming king I would bring an end to war in Britain. Only the dead have seen the end of war, but don't despair. There are still many lords who believe in you. Maybe Lot's right. I'm 16. What do I know about being king? Why would anyone want to follow me? For the kingdom they hope that you'll build. Now, true, you're young. But you have a good heart, Arthur. Many lords have faith that you're going to be a different kind of king. They've seen plenty of kings like Lot. You give them hope. The boy king smiled. Then, when all of this is over, I won't let them down. Spoken wisely, my boy. Now let's muster an army. When Lot and his army arrived at Camelot, he found Arthur's own army of loyal knights arrayed upon the battle plain. This milk-fed brat may have more guts than we thought. Tell the knights that the battle will begin tomorrow at daybreak. Then Britain will be mine. That night, from the ramparts of Camelot, Arthur and Merlin viewed the 1,000 campfires of King Lot's army. There are so many. They have us easily outnumbered. Don't fret. With this battle, you will prove that you are worthy to be king. Now, command your men to prepare for battle. But it's evening time. Really? I was wondering why it was so dark. Of course it's evening time. That's the best time to launch a sneak attack, wouldn't you say? Lots of knights have just tucked themselves into bed. Arthur's army was quickly roused, and the boy king sat astride his steed at the head of his knights. Merlin rode forward on his white donkey. Now, to give you a slight advantage, the old wizard uttered some strange words, and across the valley, the many tents of the enemy army simultaneously collapsed. Lot's men, trapped beneath the fallen tents, shouted in confusion, I just couldn't help myself. Now, shout charge already. Charge! Thanks to the bravery of Arthur and his knights, the army of Lot and his allies was routed. Arthur's rule was legitimized once and for all. Bravo! You captured almost 1,000 enemy knights. King Lot and his allies have fled to their castles. Now, the question remains, Your Majesty. What will you do with these 11 traitorous kings? I've always sent envoys to beg you for mercy. What would my father have done? Oh, he would have executed them and not thought twice about it. What shall I do? Think twice. Hmm. I will spare them if they will pledge themselves to me. I will forget the past. The old wizard smiled. Boy might make a good king after all. Soon the rebellion of the 11 kings became a distant memory. Under Merlin's tutelage, Arthur grew into his position as High King of Britain. A king must be fair. So many men gain power and then abuse it to keep others down. Your kingdom must be different. My kingdom will be based on justice. Good. But remember, justice doesn't mean getting your way all the time. Just because you're king doesn't mean you're above the law. Justice means the law applies to everyone, even you. Of course. And what about mercy? I read in the Holy Scriptures about the importance of mercy. So many kings are ruthless and cruel. Shouldn't my kingdom be based on mercy? Naturally. And service to others. Only way to tame the beastly nature of man is through serving others. Perhaps I should give my knights the task of protecting those who are weaker than they are. Through this, they will promote those ideas we believe in: truth, justice, equality, and mercy. Hmm, perfect, boy, perfect. So Arthur ruled like no other monarch ever had, showing justice, mercy, and fairness in all that he did. As the next years passed, many knights rallied to Arthur's banner and pledged themselves to his cause. Merlin often traveled afar for months at a time, carrying news of Camelot to the far reaches of Britain, and returning with honorable knights to boost Arthur's growing army of justice. Once, while Merlin was gone on one of his missions, a terrified squire brought news to the young king. Sire, a rogue knight has set up a tent along the roadside. He's challenging any virtuous knight who passes the combat. He crushed my master's body, and I only escaped with my life to bring you the news. Who does this man think he is? I'll have no rogue knights in my kingdom. Ready my horse. Arthur donned his armor and rode forth. As Arthur galloped through the forest, a scruffy old beggar man shot out of a thicket, running for all he was worth. Halt! What's the meaning of this? No time, no time. A band of thieves burst out of the underbrush, following hot on the beggar's heels. Give us your purse, you old coot, or we'll cut your throat. Halt, dogs! I am Arthur. Leave the old man alone. The bandits stopped short and for the first time noticed Arthur. Ah, knight, run! King Arthur did not pursue them, but turned to the old man to see if he was all right. The beggar looked up, and beneath his scraggly beard was an all too familiar face. Merlin, what are you doing here? Running for my life. What does it look like? I thought you were away on one of your missions. I was, but when I arrived at Camelot, they told me you had ridden out to challenge a rogue knight yourself. You know, most kings just send their knights to do this kind of thing for them. I know, but I'm a different kind of king, remember? I believe in equity. Besides, why should my knights get to have all the fun? Yes, but if you are killed in battle, all this land will be lost. The hope of 1,000 people will be extinguished. Oh, don't be so full of gloom and doom. I think I can handle a simple battle. Ah, don't be too confident that you lose sight of your own human weaknesses. You're one to talk. You were just being chased by that band of ruffians. Even with all your magic, they would have cut your throat if I hadn't stopped them. Exactly, you dunce. I was trying to prove a point to you. Even I, an all-powerful wizard, I'm mortal. I should be careful what situations I put myself in. Hmm. Merlin, thank you for the lesson, but I'm off to challenge this rogue knight. Challenger is a mighty foe named King Pellinore. He'll cut your head off if you're not careful. We shall see, Merlin. We shall see. Fine, don't say I didn't warn you. Young people think you know everything. Why listen to Merlin? He can only see the future, nothing much. Arthur had been on the receiving end of Merlin's tantrums time enough, so he quietly rode on while the magician continued to rant. I'm just like Sandra of Troy. No one listened to her either, and then guess what happened? The old wizard suddenly realized the king was gone. Oh, goodness, I thought he'd never leave. I'll let him try it on his own for a while, see how it goes. Much satisfied, Merlin laid down beneath a tree and fell asleep to the sounds of swords crashing far away. Now, it should be noted that wizards do not actually sleep when it seems that they are doing so. In actuality, they're doing deeds miles away. Because of this, they never oversleep or miss important events, unless they mean to. Merlin awoke, shall we say, precisely when he meant to, and at once rushed off through the forest to find Arthur. He will have himself in a fine pickle by now, I assume. And sure enough, he came into a clearing where an enormous knight stood with his sword raised over the weaponless Arthur. King Pellinore, stay your hand. Merlin's cry caused the huge knight's descending blade to stop in midair. Indeed, Pellinore had almost brought Arthur to the point of death. Do not slay this man. Do you not know who he is? He's King Arthur, and if you slay him, this kingdom's going to fall into utter darkness. Merlin, I have this completely under control. Shush. Merlin flailed his arms about in the air, babbled some strange words, and the massive form of Pellinore fell backward into the grass. You killed him. Oh, relax, it's only a sleep spell. Loud snoring escaped the visor of Pellinore's helm. That should hold him for several hours. He'll catch up on his beauty rest, and you will get safely away. I can't believe this. I had him right where I wanted him. Oh, really? Standing over you, ready to slay you, was right where you wanted him. Interesting. Well, I would rather die than be called a coward. So said Caesar, and he did. I can't be saved by my court magician every time I get into a scrape. Who are you calling a court magician? Would you like to find out what it's like to be a horse's behind? I'm sure you know plenty about that. You young people are simply infuriating. Merlin stuck the end of his beard in his mouth and chewed it angrily. A slow smile spread across Arthur's face. I am sorry, Merlin. Forgive me. I just wanted to prove that I am capable of keeping my kingdom safe. Well, try to see reason. Arthur, you're destined to lead, but you cannot put yourself in dangerous situations, and you must be willing to take help whenever you can get it. I am willing, and I am thankful for your help, but just for the record, I had this night mostly beaten. You just came in at the last minute and finished him off. Yeah, keep telling yourself that. Merlin motioned to the sleeping form of Pellinore. You may not believe it, but one day he will be one of your greatest allies. You will give many aimless knights like him a cause to fight for. But for now, let's leave him to his dreams of dragons and damsels. We have adventuring to do. I can't. I've broken my sword in battle. It just shattered in my hand. I expected as much. That sword has outlived its usefulness. Let's go. Where? Merlin was already walking briskly away through the trees. Arthur dashed to catch up. Hey, wait up! There's a sword that was crafted by the magic of the fairies. An Avalon, an Isle of Magic. Is it a sword for me? No, it's for Henry the stable boy. Of course, for you. The sword is Excalibur, and none may stand against it. Sounds like a mighty weapon. It is. You will require only the finest of swords to protect you. With Excalibur, you will bring freedom and peace to Britain for many years. But a sword is only as good as the man who uses it. So, you have to guard it and yourself very carefully. Now watch your step. They descended down a slippery pile of rocks. Merlin almost fell several times and grumbled loudly. Finally, they reached the bottom, and through a small stand of trees, Arthur saw a great lake spread out before them. Heaven preserve us. Nice, isn't it? The water was of the clearest blue Arthur had ever seen. Mists cover what lay in the distance. Beyond the mist lies the Isle of Avalon, and further on the plain of Camlan, where the last battle shall be fought, where you'll be killed by an evil knight. I shall face that day bravely, and that is what will get you killed. But I've said too much. Behold, in the middle of the lake, where you see. I can barely see a hand coming up from the water, clad in a shining material decorated with sparkling jewels. Pure samite, my boy. It's holding something out of the depths. A sword. Finest I've ever seen. Should be. Excalibur. How shall I reach it, Merlin? Don't ask me, ask her. Then Arthur beheld her, the glowing image of a woman, walking across the misty lake. Where her feet touched the water's surface, no ripples appeared. As she came, Arthur heard a faraway music. He was entranced. Who is she? Lady of the Lake. Don't just stand there like a stump. Go out to her. There was a tiny boat on the shore of the lake. Arthur heard that in the lady's song she was beckoning to him. He got into the boat, and it began to move across the waters of its own accord. Arthur, Arthur, I am the lady of the lake. Do you desire the sword in the mist of this lake? I do, my lady. Then bring your craft forward and take it. For many years I have guarded this sword. Now I give it freely to you. If you will give it back when the time comes. I will, my lady. Arthur was in the center of the lake now. The samite-clad hand was within his reach, dutifully holding the sword aloft. He noticed draped across the arm was also a shimmering scabbard of gold. Take the sword. It is Excalibur. It shall serve you well. The music grew louder in his ears, and he reached out. His fingers brushed upon the sword hilt, and he felt its power go through him. He gripped it strongly. The mystical hand let go and sank beneath the waves. Excalibur and its scabbard were now his own. Thank you. This is the greatest gift I have ever received. Arthur looked up to thank the Lady of the Lake, but she was not there. And indeed, the mist had risen. All magic had left the place. Merlin, look! The sword is mine. Of course it is. Now row back here quickly. Arthur found the oars within the boat and grudgingly put down his new sword to take them up. As the sword moved through the air, it sang the same song he had heard the lady sing. Somehow, it soothed him. Arthur's boat once again reached the shore. Did you get the scabbard as well? Yes, I have them both. Come, let's go. Tell me, which do you like better, the sword or the scabbard? The sword, of course. With it, I may cut down any enemy with a single stroke. Arthur gleefully swished the sword through the air. The scabbard is true prize. It's worth 10 swords. How? Well, when the scabbard is worn, no matter how badly you're wounded, you won't bleed. Keep it close. One day a woman will steal it from you if you're not careful. A woman? Come on, Merlin. Surely you jest. You don't think me weak enough to be tricked by a woman. We'll see. Come, my young king. Let's return to Camelot. You're still very green, a sapling, and you have many things to learn before you become a mighty oak. Now, you have Excalibur, and like the sword that you've pulled from the stone, it'll help guide you to your destiny. And so the two left that place, and far away, the Lady of the Lake, in her invisible kingdom, began to sing once again. Excalibur was in the hands of a good man, and there would be peace in Britain for a time.